Okay. What's up, you guys? I've been posing for the thumbnail for a minute and a half, so I think I should probably just get started with this video, but welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new, and if you are new, hit that subscribe button down below to join the fam. Welcome back to Vlogmas, guys. We are here in front of the tree being festive tonight, even though I'm not wearing anything festive. Don't judge me. Go Bucks. But I am going to be doing a what I read in 2022 video. I'm going to show you all the books I read, rate them out of 5, same rating I would give them on Goodreads. Follow me on Goodreads if you want to, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I think you should read them. So let's just get started. Every year I have a New Year goal to read 1 book a month all year. And I don't know if I've even done it yet, which sounds a little crazy. Like 12 books in a year seems kind of reasonable, I think, to some people, but it is definitely hard work when you have a lot of other things going on, like full-time job and things like that. So I did not read 12 books this year, full disclaimer, but I did read 10, and it's December. And because it's a little bit earlier in December, I have a feeling I might get to 11. 12's ambitious, so we'll see. But I did read 10 books, and I'm going to share my thoughts with you today. We are going to go in order of the order that I read the books. So first one, I could not find the actual book. I own it upstairs, but I actually think it could be in the garage, not unpacked yet. Embarrassingly enough, it could still be in a box somewhere. So I am just going to tell you about it. Here's the cover. It is called Perfect Touch by Elizabeth Lowell, and let me tell you what, we are starting off with a doozy. This was a bad book. I probably would not recommend anyone read it unless you like something that's so cheesy it hurts. Like, it's so cheesy, it's actually not even really good. This book was so awkward. I just felt so awkward reading it. Its average rating on Goodreads is 3.69 stars, and I gave it a 3. My comments on Goodreads, I am actually going to read them to you. I said that it was the slowest build ever, in my opinion. Personally, I felt like the storyline didn't pick up until the last 10% of the book. However, once it did, I liked it. That's a solid 3-star rating. I would still agree with what I said when I rated the book. It is just so boring until you get to the end, and then it gets a little bit steamy and you're like, oh, this is a good story. They would have started with that and then built upon it for the rest of the story. It could have been a good book, but to me, solid 3 out of 5, bordering a 2. I don't recommend. My next book, this one is so cute. This book I actually got at Half Price Books because it just had a cute cover. I literally bought the book for the cover. This is called Cocktails for 3 by Madeline Wickham. So cute. I really liked this one. Let me tell you what I rated it. I gave this a 5 stars, and I didn't leave comments on it, but the average rating is 3.44 stars out of 5. I gave it a 5 out of 5, which is a little crazy. So basically the premise of this book is the 3 friends that work at a fashion magazine called The Londoner. It's set in London. Every month they have like a little lunch together, the 3 of them, or a dinner, and they kind of talk about the office drama, what's going on in their lives, etc. And they catch each other up on all of the things that are going on. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to accidentally give anything away, but I would say this is a super easy, fun read, really good for the summer. So I actually would recommend this, even though Goodreads would not make you think so. Ooh, the next one I read, I'll put the cover here because I didn't grab it. It is upstairs and I know where it is, but this was something that I started reading for work because we have a book club at work, which a couple of these reads are. And this was called The Midnight Library, and this was such a cool book. It is a 5 out of 5 star rating from me. The Goodreads average is 4.03 stars, so this is definitely a good one all around. And I will tell you the premise of this book, but if you think you want to read it, skip ahead like 20 seconds because I'm about to spoil the beginning, but it also is within the first chapter. That's half the point of the book. So as this book starts, the main character actually dies in real life, and she goes to a in-between place. So it's between life and death, and it's the Midnight Library, and there are a bunch of books there that she can open and explore that new world or that new part of her life. So that's all I'm going to say. Definitely give this a read. It is so creative. It really gets you thinking, but it's also a really fun read. It's not too mentally draining or heavy on the mind, so I would highly recommend this as a read. This summer I fell victim to the Summer I Turned Pretty craze, and I read the trio. So I read in order The Summer I Turned Pretty, We'll Always Have Summer, and It's Not Summer Without You. These are all by Jenny Han, and they are really good books. I enjoyed them a lot. I will tell you how long. I read these so fast because I felt like everyone was talking about these on TikTok, and then all of a sudden they had the Amazon Prime show that came out, a series based off the first book, and I got into it. That's all I can say. The first one I read in a little bit over a week, but then the second one I finished in 2 days, and then the third one I finished in 6 days. So this whole entire series I read within the month. It was so good. I will say, for The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is the original story, and like I said, there is the Amazon Prime show based on this book. It is about a girl who is in high school, and she goes off to Cousins Beach, which is a fictional place, every summer. It's something that her family does as tradition, and her mom and her mom's best friends' families get together there at a beach house every single summer. So this is the story of The Summer She Turned Pretty, and then the rest of the books are sequels. So We'll Always Have Summer continues the story of The Summer I Turned Pretty and just gives you a little bit of more of a taste, and then It's Not Summer Without You is kind of like the final farewell to the series. I feel like probably could go on, but 3 is plenty. I will tell you what I rated these, and I will stop there because, like I said, I'm not trying to spoil books here. I'm just trying to recommend them or not. And these 3 I would definitely recommend reading. For The Summer I Turned Pretty, the average Goodreads rating is 3.83 stars. I gave it a 5. I'm not too harsh of a critic, I don't feel like. I give a lot of books 5 stars if I enjoyed reading them. It's not that deep to me. It's Not Summer Without You was rated 3.9 stars on Goodreads, and I gave it 5. And then We'll Always Have a Summer, I will say this was my least favorite. I wanted to finish the book because I was ready to finish the series. I was excited to see what happened, but I wasn't super satisfied with this one as much as the others. And this has a 3.92 average Goodreads. I gave it a 4. So like I said, overall I would recommend the series. Read the series, then watch the show. I'm a big read the book first kind of person. I like to read it before I watch the movie or watch the show. So I would say read the books first and then watch the series. It was really cute, and I enjoyed it, and I will watch the next season when it comes out. It's a little bit younger, so it's definitely a high school demographic, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm 24, so yeah. Speeding right through because we have a few more to talk about, and I can't stop talking ever. Next book I read was, it's up there with my top 3 favorites of the year. This one is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This was another internet craze that I fell victim to. Everyone and their mother was reading this, so much so that it sold out in, I feel like, minutes, and I could not get my hands on a copy for a few weeks. I finally did. I got a hardcover version. Very happy to have it. And this book was incredible. This was another book that I finished in 5 days according to Goodreads, and it was impeccable, amazing. It was everything that everyone online has said about it, and I would recommend this to anyone. This is a really in-depth story of Jeanette McCurdy's life. It's definitely a little bit heavy. It contains a lot of heavy, hard to read topics, but it gives you some real perspective in life that I really appreciated, and her honesty and willingness to share was like super inspirational. So I won't get into the actual story, but I would suggest this to anyone. Even if you're not a reader, I would suggest this to you because I think it's packed full of some genuinely amazing life lessons and experiences. And of course, I gave this a 5 out of 5, and the average Goodreads rating is 4.61 out of 5. So incredible all around. Highly recommend. 3 more books that I read this year. So next is another, I just realized I'm a very trendy reader because this was another one that took the internet by storm. This is Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering, and I read this because my favorite influencer, Brooke Michio, read it and recommended it, and then all of a sudden they made it into a Hulu show. So of course, like I said, I like to read the book first, so I bought this book immediately, read it as fast as I possibly could, which it actually ended up taking me, let me tell you, 1 full month. It took me from September 25th to October 25th. Spoiler, it's because I didn't like it. But it took me so long to read it, and then I finally got to watch the show. and I don't like the show either. I'm still watching it and I'm gonna finish it and I'm gonna watch next season because that's just the person I am, but I'm not super enjoying it. Tell Me Lies is a story of a girl who is in college. She goes off to college for the first time, meets new friends, meets new guys, that kind of situation, and I just felt like it was a little bit slow. I felt like the characters were all a little bit, this word's used too much, but like a little bit toxic. Like they were all kind of mean to each other. They're manipulative. Like the characters just weren't good, and I hated that. Like I just didn't want to root for anyone in this book. So I will say Tell Me Lies definitely just was not a favorite for me. Its average rating on Goodreads is 3.54 stars. I gave it a 3 out of 5, and I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to know the story, watch the show. The show's a little bit better than the book was, but I still am not obsessed with any of it. So that's the verdict. All right, only 2 more books. And this next one, let me think. You know what? Yeah, this was my favorite book of the year. I can't believe I'm even saying that. This was another one I did for my work book club. It was another internet trend. What can I say? I'm a trendy reader. I'll just have to admit it at this point, but The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one is not new to the scene by any means. I feel like people have been reading this for the past couple years and just highly recommending it. It's by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who I want to read all her books now because I've heard good things about her as an author, and I loved this, so I think I would love others. But this one is amazing. It is about a fictional character who's a celebrity, Evelyn Hugo, and she had been married 7 times, was such an elite level of famous that she didn't really do interviews, she didn't really talk to press, like no one really knew why she had 7 husbands. People would just speculate about her life, and this is the story of her life, the full story. I would highly recommend this, and I can only hope that there's a sequel to this. I have a feeling there won't be, but I think there's supposed to be a show or movie. Regardless, this was so good. I definitely gave this 5 stars. The average Goodreads rating on it is 4.46 stars out of 1.6 million ratings. Can I just say, like, these are not low rated books. Like, a lot of people are rating this. And I gave it a 5 out of 5, and I would say yes, highly recommend. If you're looking for a really fun read, get into this because it was so good. And finally, we're on the last book of this video. Hopefully you guys aren't bored of me yet. This book is Happy People Are Annoying by Josh Peck. And I'm actually pretty excited because this was the first book that I have ever read on my phone. I downloaded it from like the Google Play Store and read it on my phone. I've never done that before. I'm kind of hesitant about reading on Kindles or phones. I really like a paper book. It's just my vibe, but I did enjoy reading it on my phone and like having it with me wherever I was. Like I didn't have to go grab my book or remember to bring my book. It was just there. So that was a nice key. I thought this book was really good. I read this because I'm interested in Josh Peck and his story. He has a podcast called The Good Guys with Ben Soffer, who is the husband of Claudia Oshry, who is on The Morning Toast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. So that's a really long line, but that is my connection to being interested in Josh Peck. And I knew he wrote the book Happy People Are Annoying. Kind of wanted to read it before because I heard about it, but once I started listening to the podcast and really appreciating him as a personality, I wanted to read it more, so I got it on the Google Play Store. And this book was really good. It's another one where it's just kind of like an autobiography. It's a little bit more in depth about Josh Peck, the way he grew up, the way he was raised, and how he came to be who he is today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I've got to be honest, I don't know why, because I don't have any complaints. I really enjoyed the book. I just don't think that for me there was like a big wow factor. Like the way it ended was just kind of like, that's it, that's my story and it's over. And I thought it was really, really, really good. I just wasn't super wowed at the end. So 4 out of 5 stars for me, 4.17 average rating on Goodreads, and overall just a good book. I really enjoyed it, so I would recommend Happy People Are Annoying. So that is all for this video. Those are all 10 books that I read in 2022. I will definitely be doing another one of these next year because I love reading, and this year I've really regained my love for reading. The past couple of years I've made this goal for myself because I wasn't reading a lot anymore and I missed it. And this year the books, I feel like I just read really good books. Like the books I chose really made me want to keep reading. Like I just finished the Josh Peck book and I want to keep reading. I'm like, what am I going to read next? What am I going to put on my agenda? So I hope you all enjoyed hearing about these books. I hope that you got a recommendation from here and you're gonna read one yourself. If you're my friend and you want to borrow one of these to read it, let me know. But that's all for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.